This is the room that we're painting, and this used to be the boys' room. And I'll show from this angle right here, this wall specifically, because I have a photo that I can show you with the two beds here right after we finished painting this. We do have a video online, I think it's on Vimeo, of how we did this original paint, because we painted this whole wall blue, and then we had to make the squares, and then we wanted them to pop off the wall. Well, originally they were just squares, and I was like, well, it doesn't look right. They need to pop, they need a shadow. So we bought a slightly colored darker blue and made the shadow so it's darker than that, so it makes it look like it pops off. Now the proper way would have been to continue this in a darker gray because it's on top of the gray, but this was already enough work to do. It was a real pain in the butt. This entire room took a whole week to paint. Normally it takes 1 day to prep, like filling all the holes, sanding, and getting the walls completely wiped down and ready to paint. That usually takes 1 day. And then it usually takes 1 day to tape, to do all this tape, because there's a lot of spots. And the other thing about taping is if you're doing different colored walls, you have to then, like if you're gonna paint this wall blue, you then have to tape this wall off. And then when you're done, untape it and then retape this wall. So that takes a lot longer. If you're only doing one color in a room, you should be happy, because you know, most people have like 3 walls, one color, and then the accent wall, which I hate. Just paint them all the same color. It's so much easier. And then it normally takes 1 day to paint. So it usually takes about 3 days total to do the whole thing. But this whole thing, the way that this was designed and how we did it, how we had to keep taping off the different colors and then doing them, you know, 2 coats and then untaping them and retaping for the other colors. It took a whole week to do this entire room. This wall was the easiest. It's only one color and it's a green. And the reason why it's that color is because we were gonna use it as a green screen, because back then we were doing a lot of videos. But I don't think we really used it for anything. We just painted it green. But now, we're going very similar to this gray right here, this gray. We're gonna do this whole room one color. That's gonna be easy. But this is already prepped, sanded, taped, and wiped down. This room is ready to be painted. We're gonna primer it first. I'm not gonna primer the green wall. I'm gonna primer these though because of the darker colors. I think it'll be fine on the other wall. This needs to pop off the wall before I paint. This is to access behind the wall. If you live in a house with a crawl space underneath the house, we don't have that. We're on a cement slab. That's how we access our stuff. The other side of the house, when you go inside the wall, it has the vents for the plumbing, and that's where the gas lines come in. The electricity comes into the house from there. This particular wall has nothing behind it. It is just an empty space, which to me is a waste. We could have made this room bigger, but that's the way they designed the house, so there you go. I am able to go behind this wall though, and because of that, I was able to add some 2x4s in here because North Carolina is kind of very weird with their studs. This is considered an outside wall because that's the outside of the house. This is considered an inside wall because there's another wall 5 feet from it. That's a whole 5 feet space in there. So these are 16 on centers, and you can actually see where they are. This is 16 inches on center for the studs because that's an outside wall. These are considered inside walls. There's a closet here and a bathroom. So this is considered an inside wall. So these studs on these 3 walls are 24 inches on center. That's how North Carolina works, which I think is really stupid. It's just, to me, that's just a way of saving money. These are 24 on centers. So this one, we wanted to hang shelves a long time ago. We had some cabinets up here. And in the other video I showed where I had all the marks on the ceilings for all the studs. Well, when we put some sideways, I actually have the marks right here on the window so that I don't paint them. For this way, and you can see where we went sideways. See this sideways and this sideways right here? There's the marks on the wall for the studs. and I went sideways all the way down, I think to this stud right here. And we had, because we had nothing to mount to, so I put studs going this way behind this wall with brackets. But I figured I would show most of this room. It's already taped, it's sanded, it's prepped, it's ready to be primered and painted. We have not bought the paint yet, but I figured I would show this room a little bit and what it's gonna look like. I can tell you my plans right now, and then we'll compare what the plans in my head are to how it really turns out. So this room's supposed to be entirely gray. This is a couch bed. We're gonna put it there. We have a piece of carpet, like a square carpet and carpet padding that'll be in front of this couch with a coffee table. And see this glass end table? We have 2 of those, which was our old living room. Our whole old living room is going in here. And then on this wall right here, we're gonna have a mount for the TV. Supposed to have a TV right there. I'm gonna try and line the top of the TV up with the top of the door. I don't know how well that's gonna work out because I'm not that good. And I'm gonna try and get the sound bar on the wall and hang it, because right now in the living room, it is hanging on the wall and it's facing you. Instead of facing up, it faces your face. And then right there, we're gonna have some shelving. I don't know what you call it. It's like a track system thing. We're gonna put the 2 bars up and then some just pieces of wood on there, or melamine, whatever you have. And then down there is a USB outlet. It's a regular outlet with USBs. We're gonna run all the electricity up to the shelves because that's where the computer is gonna sit, which runs the TV. So I'm gonna try and make it as neat as we can. That's the only plan we have for this room right now, is that. So we're gonna compare this to when it's actually done and see what it looks like. Just because that's the way it is in my head, we'll see how it comes out in reality. It normally doesn't come out the same way. That's why I figured I would do this. All right, this is after primer. I opened up a can down there that said primer. It was in the paint closet that we have downstairs. It went on white, but then dried clear, kind of like Elmer's white glue. It went on white, but then it dried clear. I think it was more of like a sealer, which works. And I'm not too worried. You can still see some of the color coming through, some of the orange right here. I'm not too worried about the colors coming through the new color. The new color is gonna be gray, and it's a lighter gray, but I think it'll be fine. You know, I probably didn't even need the primer. So I went and bought a can of actual white primer, and this is the second coat. So it's got a coat of sealer on it and 2 coats of white primer. Now this wall does not. This wall just has the 2 coats of the primer, and I actually ran out. There was not enough in the 1 can. You can see down here, kind of didn't cover that enough, or around the window. The window has 1 coat, but I didn't have quite enough to do the 2 coats. What I'm more concerned about than the colors is the repairs. So this wall especially, it's got a lot of repairs here. And those walls, which I showed, I'll show those pictures again from the beginning. You'll see all the little white spots. Those are all the repairs that we did. Now, normally when you paint over repairs like that, over the spackle, even if you do multiple coats of paint, when you go look really close, you can actually still see like dull spots where you did the repairs. They do kind of come through. So I'm more concerned with that because there's so many repairs in here. But this is the second coat of primer. I'm ready to paint. I bought the paint the other day. I got 2 gallons. It should be enough to do 2 coats in this room. And we'll see you after that's done. All right, this is after painting. Painting is complete. Well, I still got to pull the tape down and do some under the tape, you know, make it more fine looking. But this is that's 2 coats of gray. So tonight I'm going to be peeling all of the tape. I'm gonna put all the wall plates back on, and then I'm gonna refine, you know, whatever's under the tape that if paint got under some of the tape, which I know it did because some of the tape is kind of like flipped up. And then up there too, get the edges nice and clean and straight. And I'll show that after that part. So I also wanted to say about this particular room, every time I'm in here, it's nighttime. I don't even get to come up here till at least like 1:30 in the morning every day. So I've been coming up here every day doing something small, you know, doing the taping, doing the painting the edges, you know. Today I came up here when I showed it in the daytime. I've been coming up in the daytime to show it on the camera to show what the color looks like. And I also came up here today in the daytime because I wanted to see my mistakes so I knew what to fix. So the solid walls they're all done. I was able to pull all the tape off. I got to put the plates back on. And now I'm going to do something with this. Well, not now. I'm going to wait till the daytime. I'm really going to need the sunshine to do this one. So what I'm going to do is I do this every single time I paint. And I'm going to take some scissors and I'm going to cut some of these off and make it even finer than what that is. And it's already pretty fine. But because we have popcorn ceilings, you know, you can tape really good. And you can see right there with the gray made it. You know, the gray made it up there. But you can see where, you know, the blue is still showing because this wall was blue. That really sticks out. So what I'm going to do, and it's because of the popcorn ceiling, you can only get the tape so good. But you can see right here it worked pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little tiny thing and put the paint in there. And then I'm going to take this brush, and it's going to be finer. I'm going to go up underneath the popcorn in here, like this. And I'm going to color this blue with this gray, just so you can't see that anymore. I guess most people would probably leave that there. I don't do that. And then the same thing with the doors and the baseboards. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to decide. So you got the white meeting the gray, but you can see the blue showing. Well, I have the white paint for this. It's trim. I have trim paint. I'm going to fill in like where that's scratched right there. And then there's some blue right there from last time, it looks like. And I'm going to paint the white. And wherever it needs gray, I'll paint gray so that I make this line will be nice and straight all the way down. And I'm going to do that all around the whole baseboard. Now the baseboards aren't too bad, really. They're really pretty good. The tape actually worked pretty good on the baseboards, but there's some spots like there's a little piece of green. That's because this wall was green. So I'll get the white and I'll just kind of go over that. But the baseboards are scratched up anyway. So I figured it'd be good to kind of refresh them. I'll just go around and make sure it's nice and refreshed and nice and white. And then we're going to go from there. I'm going to put the wall plates on right now because I can do that while it's not too bright. You know, I really want the sunlight to do the painting, but you can see right here, like the baseboard, it's not all dirt. It's like scratched where you can see the wood where the white's missing. But I'm going to put the wall plates on tonight. I'm going to do this tomorrow in the sunshine, and then the room will be ready to be put together. This brush, this takes a while. To do what I need to do tomorrow in the daytime is going to take... That's going to take a few hours, and I usually just take one of these little USB speaker things and put music on, and I just take my time. It takes a lot of patience to do what I need to do. And then the next step would be push the couch back, put the carpet down, put the end table there, get the glass coffee table here, and then the very next step, put the wall mount there and start measuring for the wall mount. We went shopping today to look for the shelving that I wanted, and that's getting complicated because it's not a normal thing what's in my head. Right now our idea is to put two 48-inch tracks, it's called track shelving, two 48-inch tracks, two 8-inch deep 24-inch shelves across to hold the computer and stuff. And then at the bottom, about 29 to 30 inches up from the floor, still connected to the track shelving, a 12-inch deep piece, 48 inches long, or however long. I mean, longer than 24 though, because we're thinking if there's one track right here, then we're gonna have, there's the TV will be over there, but we're thinking about making on the track another shelf that's 12 inches deep, but using it more like a desk just for laptops, because I'm not gonna actually put a desk in here. I'm just gonna use the coffee table, and then we'll go from there. And then I just gotta figure out where to put pictures and posters. I gotta put the blinds back up, put the curtains back up. There's still a lot to do, and it's all little stuff. The major stuff is done. The major stuff was the painting. That took a long time to tape and get it painted. Now I'm gonna go back and do all that other stuff. And I'll see you in the next video. Man, that took a long time. I did the whole top all the way around with a little tiny brush. Did the window, just the tops of the doors. Just anywhere where I needed a step stool, did all that. It doesn't look like much. That took 2 hours with that little itty bitty brush. I still gotta go around the doors like here on the sides. Probably not that one because you can't even see back there. I'll take a look at this one. There's a couple spots back there I'll get tomorrow. And then I gotta go around the whole bottom. And then that's just the gray. I still gotta do the white. I gotta do the white. I'll go back. This one don't look too bad, but I'll go back and do white and go backward and make that line nice and straight wherever I hit the white with the gray. And there's a couple spots up there, and it's not all from me. Whoever painted this before, it would look like a light blue. I don't remember painting over that. I remember painting the colors for the kids, but there's like these spots. There's one way up there. It's like this weird light blue, and there's spots all over the ceiling, which means they didn't tape. They did a terrible job because it's all over the place. But I'm also going to do the white anyway, because a lot of the tops of the baseboards, they're kind of messed up, like on this door. I still have to pull the door off and do behind the door. But like here, there's a spot. That's not like dirt. It's like a chunk taken out of the white. So I'm just going to, paint it. There's a chunk right there taken out. I'm just going to paint those white. Same with these. I've already cleaned all these, and I'm just going to paint these white up top, not down here, because I'm going to smack it with the vacuum anyway. There's some more on there. There's some spots. So I'm just going to try and make it look somewhat nice. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it's far from perfect right now anyway. So I just thought I'd say that because that took 2 hours if you ever do that. And the only reason why I do that, let's see if we can climb up here and take a look. The only reason why I do it is if you take a look at the popcorn. So when you tape, you can only tape so much because the corners really don't meet each other. But so that the popcorn makes the tape go like this, in this direction, because it's taped to the ceiling. So what happens is like here, it'll be like behind those ones sticking down. You can't actually get the paint in there. So that's what that little brush is for. It gets behind all of the popcorn pieces and gets kind of, it's still on this part of the wall. I'm not painting the ceiling. I'm just painting the wall that's up underneath the popcorn. That's kind of what I'm doing. It's very time consuming. But I want it to look nice, and if I don't do it, like this wall had a ton of blue, that wall had a ton of blue, or that wall had dark gray up top. This one had tons, the door is blue almost all the way across. And this one had green almost all the way across. You can still see some green up there, but that's on the popcorn. So I'm not gonna paint that gray. I'm actually gonna take the white for the trim, and I'm gonna probably touch that up with white and see what happens. I'm gonna see what it looks like, because I don't wanna make that gray. Then it's gonna look like I painted like an idiot. But that green would have been for me, which means I did paint like an idiot, which is kind of funny. And then I did it right here. And you can see the green right there. That's going to be white. I'm going to do white down there. I did the gray on this side. Fixed up all the gray, but wherever there's green, it's this angle. It's this side, not this side. So this is taking a while, but since I haven't done the top, I was waiting to hang the TV because I didn't want to paint up top. And I might do all the gray and then I'm going to hang the TV. I mean, I could do the gray and then the white, but I really want to get the TV out of the other room. It's in the other room laying on the bed. I want to just make sure it's up on the wall, it's safe. But I'm also going to drill and make a mess. So I don't want to do the white yet. I want to do that first because I'm going to make a mess. Then I can clean the mess, wipe this all up again, and paint the white. That's where I'm at anyway. It's been a productive weekend. We were pretty busy though too. We went and did some stuff together, but I got the bulk of it done. It's just, you ever get like burned out, like you're doing something, even if you enjoy it, and you get to this point where it's like, I just want to sit on the couch and do nothing. It's kind of like the floor downstairs. I did the floor. I haven't done the trim. It's just the trim's all cut and painted and laid out. I just haven't attached it. It's kind of like that. It's like, I got the bulk of it done. Now I'm trying to do all this tedious little stuff, and I really don't want to do it, but I've been coming up here anyway and just trying to do a little bit here and there. All right, today's project is hang that right there. I want to do the best I can to line it up with the top of the door. Now, people probably think that's pretty high. This is a 50-inch TV, but when it's going to come down to about here. Should be pretty close. This is the center of the room, right under the light. But anyway, hanging a TV is actually pretty easy if you're just hanging a TV, because you take this bracket. Now this one doesn't have a bubble in it, so I have to use the level. Some of these come with a bubble level on them. So basically how these work is you attach this to the wall, and then you attach the bracket to the back of the TV, and you snap the two together. It's very simple to do. But I got something new that Dennis told me about. Thank you, Dennis, for telling me. Because we got to have the sound bar. And the problem is there's one stud right here. This is where we're going to mount the bracket, right about here. That's where the stud is. Now keep in mind, North Carolina is 24 on center on inside walls. We have a sound bar downstairs, and it's not going to fit, this way. So I'm going to mount this thing. This is a Soundbar Mount that mounts to the back of the TV. And I'll try and put the product picture on the screen so you can see what it's supposed to really look like. But it goes on the back side of the TV, and then you can hang the sound bar from the actual TV mount, from the wall mount. And it'll be underneath the TV so that I don't need to put anything on the wall or put a shelf there or a table. It'll be hanging it'll look like it's attached to the TV itself. So that's the project for today. If I was just hanging the TV, this would go very quick, but I have to do extra math, figure out spacers and whatever, and attach this bracket system to the other bracket for the soundbar, and I can't get the soundbar up here yet because it's currently in use, and if I take it now, we won't have sound in the living room. But the thing that was really nice about this package, there's the brackets for the soundbar, and it came with extra little brackets for different types of soundbars, which I thought was nice. But the way that they put this hardware is really nice. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. These are all separate pouches with their parts. And on the parts list in the manual, you can see what each one of these are. And then this one has A, B, C, D, E, F. That's really cool. I really like the way they packaged that. And I got this off Amazon. And I will put the link to this in the description. And I will also show the product ad on Amazon, like a screenshot or something, so you can see exactly what this is. And this is made of metal. When you're looking at it online, it kind of looks like it's plastic, but it's not, it's metal. And there's different ones. On the back side of the TV, there are 4 holes. That's how you mount these. See if I could find a picture on here. I don't have the TV box open yet, so I can't really show it. Normally, you take the 4 holes of the TV and you attach them to the bracket, the TV bracket. What happens with a lot of these, there's different types of soundbar mounts. The difference with this one is it's going to use all 4 holes. So there's 2 on each side. This one's going to use all of them. Some of these only use the bottom 2 holes of the TV, which is fine. It's plenty because soundbars don't weigh a lot, and you have to make sure you got the correct weight. But these are going to use all 4 holes, which I think is a little bit sturdier. No big deal. But that's the chore for today, to get this up there. And then tomorrow I'm going to go along the bottom and finish painting the trim and stuff. And then the following day I need to get in there. I have to do that in the daytime. I have to take that off the wall, and I'll show what looks behind there and paint all that. And then after that will be shelving system. So I'm going to show each step of this room. It's slowly coming together because right now it's like 1 in the morning when I'm starting this. I'm going to try and get done by 3. I hope I'm not going to rush though. But I want this done by 3 so I can get to bed, so I can do the lawn in the morning and then come up here tomorrow in the daytime and do something. Every day I'm trying to do something small, but usually in the day I go into the drum room and play drums, and then at night I come in here after work. So that's why it's taking so long to do everything. It's a very slow process because I have to go to work every day. Some people have jobs. A lot of people don't. There is so much work out there right now. If you're one of those people that aren't working, or you know somebody that isn't working, they are refusing to work. There's so much work right now. It's crazy. Nobody should be without a job right now. There's so much work. It's insane. You can make so much money right now. It's crazy. It really is. So this is what I was talking about. So on the back of every TV, there's 4 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, these are different distances on TVs, but a lot of these soundbar brackets, they only go in these bottom holes and then come down. This version goes in both holes, which is more sturdy. Not that you need that, but I think it's better. It'll hold more weight. I think these say they hold 25 pounds. And soundbars, ours is like 5. Most soundbars don't weigh that much. But anyway, those are going to go like that. Those are the soundbar brackets on the bottom. And then the actual brackets to mount to the wall go on top of those. So that's what makes it different, is figuring out all the math to get the correct everything. If it's just the wall mount, you simply grab the correct screws that fit the wall mount in there, slap it in there, and snap it in. But that's not what this is. I just have to do a little bit of extra math to figure that one out, and we're good to go. I'm pretty close. So my idea was to line it up with the top of the door. I think I screwed up. Not bad. It's still gonna look good, but when you get the soundbar brackets on, you got this in the way. See this? This is so you can move this to adjust for the soundbar. But then the bracket, this is where the center of the TV will go. So this would be down here. But it had to go up to fit this piece, which means the TV is going to be lower about 1.5 to 2 inches. It's going to be off, which means it's going to be probably lined up more with the door and not the top of the molding. We're going to find out in a couple minutes here. I'm almost done. This was a little bit of a pain in the butt because of that, but it's not really too bad. It's just a matter of finding out what type of TV bracket do you have versus the soundbar bracket, and the normal screws are going to be a little bit longer. You need longer ones with a washer to fit all the hardware behind the TV and still make it down to the bottom of the hole. You don't want your screw to not be in the bottom. You don't want it to be sticking out, but you don't want it to be too short either. You got to play with the screws and find the right height. That's it's not too bad though. It's just a little bit of figuring stuff out. All right, that took a little while because I kept messing up. There it is. It's a 50-inch LG. It's a little bit off. It's like it's only like an inch and a half off, maybe an inch. It's not too bad. I wanted it perfectly lined up with the top of the door, but then I did the wrong math. But this thing has these leveling screws on it. This particular mount, I've never seen these before. See if I can get in here. This is probably too bright. See where I have the Allen wrench in that bolt, that Allen bolt. That's for leveling. There's one on each side. So I simply raised both of them all the way up as high as they would go, and then lowered the other side down to make them level. I just measured, and it's 2 inches off. It's okay though. I mean, this room doesn't need to be perfect, but I was just trying to make it nice. And from back here where we're gonna be sitting, it's nice. And the sound bar would be nice under the TV. And I just noticed another mistake that I made. So the TV kind of has to go here. If not, it has to be like over there or over there, which I guess you could do. I think it's better on the other wall. I mean, you could do it on any wall, really. This is too long, though, unless you put the couch up here and make like this a space and have a space behind. But that's not the vision that we have for this room. But we're going to be putting shelves over here because the computer and everything's going to be over here. That's what runs the TV. We don't have TV. We run it with a computer. But I just noticed all the connections are on this side, which means it would have been, our other TV has them over there. So I was just going to run them straight across, and I could still run straight across, but from here, it's just going to be a longer run. And I mean, heck, I could put a little shelf right here and have the computer up here running stuff, but I'm going to stick with the original plan for now, and we'll see how it goes. Just have to make a longer run, I guess. And I could run some of the cables behind the bracket here, like between the holes, so that it's up off the, so it doesn't hang. All right, what I'm about to do is pull this off the wall. There's a hole. This is like a crawl space, but in the side of the house. I'm gonna show what's behind this wall, if there ain't no snakes or nothing in there. And there's about a 4 or 5 foot gap in there, which would be nice if they pushed this wall back. This room could have been bigger, but I'm gonna try and show the wood that I put in there. That was years ago, like 2009. We're in 2022. I think I did that in like 2009, 2010. And I'll show the brackets. I'll show what's behind the wall. There's nothing in this one except for insulation. The other side of the house has all the vents and stuff, but I'm just gonna show what's behind here just so people can see. Oh, and I have to take this off anyway because of the blue wall is behind here. Just so, see like that, the blue. I'm just gonna cover where the door covers the blue. I'm just gonna paint it real quick with the gray. It looks like the insulation fell, and I noticed when I was painting how cold the wall was right there. That's why. But you can see, I went all the way down. You can see the brackets and these 2x4s that go all the way. They go all the way across this wall, all the way to where this hole is, because the studs are 24s. And I gotta see if I can get this insulation put back up and fix the light, because there was a string on the light and it broke, and that's so you can pull it from down there and turn the light on before you come inside the hole. But this is what it looks like inside of here. This is actually the outside of the house. There's the eaves, and that's about it. I got some insulation missing over there. But I did this a long time ago. I hate to touch the insulation, but this would be a lot closer to see. Oh, this one's a little different right here. That's the work I did right there a long time ago. And you can see the, it goes all the way down. It goes all the way to the other end of the wall. I went all the way down. I don't know why I did this one this way. I don't know why that one's turned, but anyway, I did it that way for some reason. Anyway, that's what it looks like. So here's where we're at. I'm going to explain a couple things, why we have on the walls, what we have on the walls. I want to talk about these for a second. These are from Container Store, these shelves. They all came in one box, and I ordered the little clippy things for them, and those came in a separate box on a separate day. I don't know why they shipped them that way, but that's kind of going to look like that. They're not attached yet. They're just laying there right now. Got the soundbar mounted to the TV, which is really awesome because as you move the TV, the soundbar moves with it. So no matter which way you're facing, it works. The other thing that's trippy about this is I moved all this from downstairs in the living room, simply moved it upstairs. I put the sub in the corner. This is a down firing sub, so the speaker faces the floor. Now normally on a subwoofer, you'll just have the little legs and the speaker faces like a hardwood floor, and it bounces the sound around somehow. Now in a regular room, bass gets trapped in corners. That's why you have bass traps. But then this one also has the port on the right side. So it's down firing with a right facing port. All I did was move this stuff upstairs and I hooked it up. I turned everything on the other day to make sure it worked. And I didn't change the volumes on anything. And it was so loud and so boomy. I thought it was awesome. So my wife was in the next room next door doing her homework. And I was like, wow, I'm sorry. Was that too loud? And she goes, I didn't even hear it. I was like, what? So I turned everything actually up, replayed the same clip I was testing it with, closed the door, went in the other room with the other door open, could barely even hear it. Went to the other room, barely hear it. Went underneath, which is the kitchen right here, and then the other bedroom starts like right here. And you can hear a little bit of the boom, but when I was up in here, it was so loud. That's pretty awesome that it actually works that way. So we got this graphic. This is from lettering.com, and this is vinyl stuck to the wall. And there's some good and some bad about this. The good thing is it's vinyl stuck to the wall. It will come off, but will it? This is Oracal. I can't remember the numbers, like 691 or 961. So this is not air release. This is flat black standard Oracal. So that'll probably be a pain to come off. I'm pretty sure I could do it. I want to thank Mike. I used to work with Mike. He taught me how to do vinyl, and I was kind of like a vinyl installer over there helping him. And I wouldn't have been able to hang this without his knowledge, because on some of these big ones, if you have the right font, you can cut this into strips and you still hang it and it still comes out looking like this. There's no real way to cut that. So I actually hung that as one gigantic piece. One of the bad things, and it's not that big deal, it's not that big of a deal, they did not leave any vinyl around the edges. So if you're going to cut vinyl for a customer, always leave a little strip or something that you could level with or measure to or something. It'll also help hold it together. So if you make vinyl for people, leave some around the edge. They probably won't know what that's for. They also used paper mask. So that was awesome. I hate when people use that crappy, clear mask. That stuff doesn't work. Paper mask is the one you want. And then if you have Rapid Tack, you could use it. I didn't have Rapid Tack for this. I wish I had some in here. You can make some out of like soap and water, like dish soap, but you need just one little drop. But so I was like, whatever, I'll just peel it normal. The other thing is there's a small mistake up here that I made applying it, but it was because it was stuck to the backing paper when I was peeling it, and you guys sit there and get it back on there. So that was a little problem, and you can't really see the mistake as much. Plus it's got the texture of the wall, so it hides it. We put the F-22 up here. We're not quite sure where we got this. It might have been my parents. The F-22 is a Lockheed airplane, and my parents used to work for Lockheed, and I have a picture somewhere of me and Brian standing in front of it at an air show at a Lockheed facility when that was brand new. That was a brand new airplane that was just being revealed, and we went and saw it, which was cool. It just a static ground demo. It didn't like fly that day. We also have pictures that day of us and with the Stealth when it was new. This is Matt's first guitar. He's not allowed to sell it, and it has the kill switch because for playing Buckethead songs. It's an old Yamaha. It was just a cheap $150 pack with the guitar and the amp and all that stuff. The Ramones thing, I don't like the Ramones, but my kids do, and they had this in this room a long time ago when this used to be the studio. This was a studio after it was their bedroom, and then we moved the studio into there. Now that's a drum room. Anyway, that's a long story. This is an actual record inside of here. Is an actual 12-inch record. This is Motley Crue, Too Fast for Love. This is their best album, but this is also my wife's favorite band, and we just happen to have it. It's been here for quite a while, so we figured we'd hang it. This is not for Ozzy. This is for Randy. This is for Randy Rhoads. Now, Randy Rhoads, I wouldn't consider him one of the best guitarists of all time. I mean, maybe one of them, not the best. He's one of the most influential of all time, but he's from Burbank, and we really appreciate that. He's a little older than we were. He went to my junior high and my high school. Even though he was older, he was already gone by the time I got there. But I remember when he died, we were in junior high at the time. We were in John Muir. And somehow during school time, they found out he died, and then everybody like walked out. Everybody walked out, and some people went to his mom's house, which was right down the road from there. So I thought that was kind of trippy. But anyway, we like Randy just because he's from Burbank, really. I mean, he was a good guitar player, but it's a Burbank thing. I guess you'd have to be from there to understand that. This I put up here. My wife got me this for a gift one year. Thought it was funny. Please do not bang your head here. If you come here, it's not on a stud. I should have put a stud right there, so if you do hit your head there, you hurt it. But I think it's funny. Bang head here. And I'm going to show a clip of some kids hitting their head on the lockers in a music video, which I thought was funny. It's a Twisted Sister music video. I think it's I Wanna Rock, that's the video where they're hitting their head on the lockers. And we used to do that in school. You know, you'd find like some geek, you know, or whatever at their locker, and you know, you just walk by, you're like, hey, wham, and you hit your head on their locker, hey. It was pretty funny. Anyway, that's funny to me. The Zildjian Clock, this actually broke at one point. The clock piece stopped working. You can buy these little clock pieces that go in here, and you just drill a hole in anything that you want, really. I mean, we bought this as a clock, but when the clock broke, you just buy these cheap little clock pieces, and as long as there's a round hole, you can mount it to anything. You can mount that clock piece. They have different hands you can order, and these were actually the hands that came with this clock. So it worked out really well having all that stuff new in there now. So that's good if you ever need to know. You can buy the clock piece, the little clock piece. You can drill a hole in a hubcap. You can use a 12-inch record. Anything that you can drill a hole into, you can attach that clock piece to and make a clock out of it, just in case you ever wanted to do something creative in your own house. Michelangelo, this is him with the double neck guitar. He used to have a 4-neck guitar. It actually got stolen a long time ago, which sucks, because I mean, how are you gonna sell that? Everyone knows what it is. But the boys have got to meet him a couple different times. Once was by accident, and this is a signed poster by him. We have other signed stuff from him downstairs we're gonna hang up here. Maybe a Jim Gillette thing we'll put up here too, because they were in the same band together. He is one of the most underrated guitar players of all time. He's probably one of the best of all time as well. This wall is still blank right now. We're thinking about some cars and some airplanes on this one. We have some stuff already that's gonna go over here, but I was thinking of maybe a theme for each wall. I'm not quite sure what we're doing yet. We're gonna have some cars on display, you know, like little metal ones, not necessarily Hot Wheels, but little metal cars. And if you go in here, you know, I don't wanna put the slat wall on the walls because you can display your cars, you know? You could just, but that looks too much like a store, and it would look nice, but it would look too store-ish. I mean, it's already industrial looking with the track shelves, you know, because they get the holes. So I want it to be more like an actual room, like a hangout. It's not necessarily a man cave. I hate calling it a man cave because that means no chicks. And this is more like, I guess, like a multi-purpose type of room. It was originally going to be a video podcast room. I haven't gone that direction, although I'm setting it up exactly the same as I had in my head, just without the microphones at the moment. But that's where it's at for now. As soon as I attach those shelves, I'm going to put the hard drives and everything up here, do some cord management, and this room is pretty much almost done. It'll never be completely done, but that's all the main things that we had going on, and we'll work on the little things slowly. This is the main piece I really got to get complete. All right, this is going to be the last piece of this video I do for this room. So there's just a couple little things I want to talk about real quick. The shelves are mounted. There's good and bad to this now that I've done it. And the good thing is I can still move these wherever we need to. I marked the wall for the other piece if we need it, if we want to put a shelf here. So they're very versatile. I can move them. We ended up getting 3, or actually 4 48-inch pieces. I had to hang the middle one first on that stud, and then use the level, get that one, use the level, go this way. This one's actually cut in half. I took one of those and cut it in half with the hacksaw, then sanded it with the Dremel, and then marked the wall here. So if we want another 24-inch piece here, we can do it. We also have options of putting small pieces here if we want some more. All I gotta do is get more brackets, more shelves, or move those shelves. Moving them is a problem though, because they're screwed into the thing. And because of that, with the shelf leaning up against the wall piece, you can't pull it out. You have to unmount it from here and then move the brackets first. No big deal. I'm not really planning on moving too much at this point. To do the cable management, it's not perfect, but it really doesn't look that bad either. My original idea was to go straight across and down. That didn't work out too well. So I went across and then down here. And what I've done is taken Velcros, 3/4 inch Velcro. I was looking for 1/2 inch, I couldn't find it. It's 3/4 inch. I cut it in half the long way, and then it comes in 2 pieces. You got your hook and your loop, and I threaded it through the holes in the, whatever you call these, and simply Velcroed them together, and then made a small piece to tie them all together. And this runs down here and then goes across. I'll show what it looks like underneath here. So it's a little bit of a mess underneath. It's not too bad. And it goes across there and then down. I still have to work on this. I need a new power strip or something, and I want everything kind of hidden behind the sub, just coming straight down the wall. It's not that big of a deal. Usually I take a power strip and I mount it upside down underneath. And that way all the cables usually come down and go up. That way there's nothing going down like this. Those would actually just stay up. And it's a lot neater, but this is that MDF pressed wood stuff, and I'm not gonna do that. The other bad thing about doing that is if you have a bunch of these, like this, and you plug them in upside down, they have weight to them, and sometimes they unplug, and you can zip tie them and do all kinds of other stupid stuff, and that's kind of Mickey Moused. And we're pretty much done with this. That was obviously the main piece. We found another picture we're gonna hang. I'll explain. I'm not sure where to put it yet. It's gonna go on this wall because it's music. But this is, back in the day, there was a Hit Parader, actual Hit Parader magazine. And we're at Magic Mountain one time, and you can go get dressed up and get your picture taken. They stick it on here. That's me and my wife at about age 18-ish. And it looks like we're on the cover of Hit Parader magazine. I'm holding drumsticks that they had as props. So I thought that was kind of funny. That's going to go on this wall. There's other stuff we found that's going to go on there, but we're pretty much done. I just ordered a Countach picture for there. I'm looking for a McLaren picture, a McLaren F1, not Formula One, but like the mid-90s F1, and I'm thinking about having a Countach and a McLaren up there because those are my two favorite cars. Yeah, it's just a bunch of little things like this coaxial. I'm either going to shove that under there or I'm going to just rip it up. It goes all the way across the house, I think. I'm the one that put that in, so I'm not really sure. I don't even remember where it goes now, but I'm thinking about just taking it out. And because it's only for in the house, it's not like it connects outside the house. But that way that's gone and make it look cleaner. The other thing I want to do is somewhere in the beginning of this video, I talked about the vision that I had as far as like what this was gonna look like. It's not quite the same, but what I'm gonna do is simply kind of show, see if we can do this. I'm gonna do this, and we're simply gonna show the room. But I figured I would show most of this room. It's already taped, it's sanded, it's prepped. It's ready to be primered and painted. We have not bought the paint yet, but I figured I would show this room a little bit and what it's gonna look like. I can tell you my plans right now, and then we'll compare what the plans in my head are to how it really turns out. So this room's supposed to be entirely gray. This is a couch bed. We're gonna put it there. We have a piece of carpet, like a square carpet and carpet padding that'll be in front of this couch with a coffee table. And see this glass end table? We have two of those, which was our old living room. Our whole old living room is going in here. And then on this wall right here, we're gonna have a mount for the TV. Supposed to have a TV right there. I'm gonna try and line the top of the TV up with the top of the door. I don't know how well that's gonna work out because I'm not that good. So I know that's gonna be a longer video. I don't care, I don't get paid for what I do. I just make them how I make them. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. I hope this helps people in some ways. If you have a space that you want to do something with, I like the track shelving. A lot of people don't because it's very industrial looking for a house. There's other things you can do. Like we have the slat wall in the closet. We used to have slat wall here for hanging the guitars. People think that looks industrial, but it's like, it's very functional. Function over form is what I have learned from all the car people. Function over form is so much better. But I'm happy the way the room came out, even though it's not quite how it was in my head. I think it might even be a little bit better. But I've been coming up here doing my work now, and it's awesome. Thanks for watching this video. If you made it this far, thank you.